Hey, welcome to Matt's Garage. Been a while, I admit, but I've been making really good progress on the truck. Let me just show you before I get into the fuel tank business here. Those of you who follow me on Instagram know I finished welding up a firewall thingy for the hydraulic clutch master cylinder. And inside, I also modified the brake and clutch levers to have a hydro boost on the brake and a clutch master cylinder, hydraulic, and then I've got my thunder thighs in here. These are the cage support legs, so that's all done. Moving to the rear, I had to space out, I had to make some plates to space my bumper out and sandwich them, and now it's got weld nuts on the backside, so it's easier to take on and off. And then I did weld nuts under here for bolting the fuel tank that we're about to talk about. Before I get started, fuel tanks are dangerous. Okay, you will die if you weld on a fuel tank with fuel in it. If you do not die, you will be so disfigured that no one will want to talk to you ever again. So for God's sakes, don't weld on a fuel tank that had fuel in it. Okay, let's go get the tank that is the subject of today's video. Alright, here is the Scout 33-gallon tank. It was made by Northwest Metal Products back in 2010. I had this installed new by RockTech Off-Road, who is the builder of the Scout. Now, this applies to any steel tank you have, basically. But in order to convert this to fuel injection, if you've got evap lines that are built in like this, and these are kind of unusual for the Scout, I'm going to cut all these off and weld them. You can cap them, you don't have to mess with them. Because this was made for a 1-inch body lift, I'm going to cut these brackets off and mount them an inch plus higher, because actually you can see from the witness marks here, it was hitting the bottom of the body, which would have caused both vibration and noise to transfer into the cab, which actually explains a lot. The fuel pickup is here, it's guarded, but it's basically just a tube that runs to the bottom of the tank. It's got a baffle inside here. So the way I'm going to convert this to fuel injection is I bought this kit from TankSync. The first is, this is not a kit, this is just a recess. And if you see here, my fuel tank angles down. I really want my pump to be flat. One, it'll give me more room for my connections coming out the top. And two, it looks cool. And three, doing it this way, when you buy the TankSync kit, there's a ring under here at the bottom that you can easily work on, weld on perfectly, like lined up without having to do gymnastics with holding it up. And then you weld it in place and it's already down there. So basically I'm still trying to figure out orientation, but it might be like that, which will give me more room for the stuff to run out. Or it might be like that. But in any case, I bought another 5-hole pickup, which I'll also weld just right next to it. So I'll aim the way the TankSync system works is, that's a pump in there, obviously just packaged, but this sits in that tray. Actually, the tray kind of hangs off of here. Okay, and this needs to sit in the bottom flat, which is why I'm installing this recess. If you have a flat top tank, you may not need it unless it's got the ribs. If it has the ribs, then this is nice because you can just weld along the rib, and then you have a nice flat surface to mount your pump in. So this is a PA2 pump. I forget the exact flow rating, but it's enough for mild fuel injected applications, which I'm going to have, and I'll tell you about that in another episode. Now, this was professionally cleaned by a local fuel tank guy who works out of his house. You can't smell any fuel anymore, but I'm still going to run a torch in that from a distance in case it wants to explode. My face isn't over welding or just grinding in an awkward position. Just to make sure there's no vapors left in there. I'm pretty sure it's clean, but you can never be too safe when you're working. Never ever try to clean it yourself. Don't run carbon monoxide from your car exhaust into a tank, go get it professionally cleaned. This cost $100. What is your life worth? You know, just get it cleaned professionally, for Pete's sake. Don't be a hero. This will either be totally anticlimactic or it will make for awesome TV. I hope it's anticlimactic, because I'd rather have my face. Pucker factor high. Okay, my heart can slow down a little bit now. I was going to start working on this tonight, but the problem with fuel tanks is it's basically a large bass drum. So any noise I make is going to amplify by a tremendous amount. So let's leave this. I'll pick it up again in the morning or on another day. Okay, Summer Racing, they don't sponsor me, I sponsor them.